This is the Recycling, Scrap Metal, Commodities, and Economic Report, October 20th, 2025, produced by Bentley Roll-Off Trailers to support our customers, suppliers, and partners. U.S. weekly raw steel production fell to 1.722 million tons, down 1.5% from last week, but up 2.5% year to date. This was on slow U.S. manufacturing economy and 50% steel tariffs. WTI crude oil price fell to $57.54 a barrel, the price of 20 years ago on oversupply, as OPEC works to lower prices to gain back their market share. OPEC is the low-cost producer, so lower prices will hurt U.S. drillers and production. U.S. weekly crude oil production rose to 13.636 million barrels per day, a new record high in American history, just surpassing December's record high. This was as great U.S. technology is driving down drilling costs. The U.S. weekly crude oil rig count was steady at 418, but as said, on record production. There are many moving pieces here, including Venezuela-U.S. tensions, and note that Venezuela is number one as it relates to proven oil reserves in the world. They actually have 30% more than Saudi Arabia. Scrap steel number one HMS composite price fell to $308.33 a gross ton on good supply and moderate demand. Hot rolled coil steel price fell to $40.55 per hundredweight, which is $8.11 a ton, on moderate demand, but the 50% steel tariff protection still holds. Copper price rose to $5 a pound on hopes of more interest rate cuts here in the U.S. Also, new tariff threats against China are creating uncertainty. Aluminum price rose to $1.26 a pound, which is $27.75 a metric ton, near a 3-year high. This was on tariff uncertainty, but good demand, especially from U.S. data centers. U.S. September NFIB Small Business Optimism Index fell to 98.8 on supply chain disruption and inflation. But earnings remain strong as businesses have been able to raise prices. U.S. August producer price inflation slowed to 2.6% versus last year. Food actually rose 3.5%, while energy was down 1.9%. U.S. August retail sales rose 5% as high-end consumers are driving the spending. Internet and clothing stores rose the most. A key retail measure used to calculate GDP jumped 0.7% for just the month. U.S. weekly initial jobless claims fell to 218,000 as companies are holding on to workers. The Atlanta Federal Reserve GDP Now Q3 growth estimate rose to a strong 3.9%, while most economists are still about 2.5%. This is on strong spending and strong investment growth, again with data centers leading the spending. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 711 points to 46,191. This was as the administration said they're ready to cut a deal with China. Also on strong corporate earnings, but concerns over a double-shaped K economy. The K shape means top companies and top earners are rising as the bottom is falling. This report is brought to you by Bentley Roll-Off Trailers, Gondola Trailers, Lugger Trucks, and Roll-Off Trailer Parts, and of course, Roll-Off Truck Parts. This is Greg Brown reporting. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.